Hey, this is Rick from Fort Community. A little behind the scenes here with an inductive study on Mark chapter 4, verses 1 to 25. I've got Evernote open on the left, and I've got the Olive Tree app open on the right. And here is a New Living Translation version of an inductive study. Here we go. What did I hear? So you go ahead and read the text. I'm not going to read it, so take a pause, read the text. Here's what I heard from it. A lamp is placed on a stand where its light will shine. Every secret will eventually be revealed. Anyone with ears, listen and understand. In my mind, that seems to be the first introductory part of the passage. Pay close attention. The more you understand, the more you'll be given. You will receive even more. That second part seems to be building on the first part, that we need to be listening, we need to be hearing in order to understand. Anyways, so I've done the interpretation, and the interpretation is here on the left side. What does it mean? As I break the text down, I think this is what it means to me. Regarding the lamp, Jesus can't be hidden. Obviously, so Jesus, what he's about, his truth, the revelation of God, that would be the lamp, revealing that the kingdom of God is present right here and right now. So the kingdom, the present kingdom of God can't be hidden. You and I need to step out in agency in order to reveal that present kingdom is here. That's probably both telling believers to be kingdom agents and also letting everyone know that Jesus can't be hidden, because he will expose himself to the world. He is exposing himself to the world right now. Jesus asks people to put some effort into their hearing so that they try to understand what he is saying. And I kind of get this. Like, I'm guilty of having an audiobook playing in the background for school, because I'm taking psychotherapy grad. It's awesome. But I sometimes the audiobook we play in the background, I'll be doing other things, and I'll have to keep on rewinding because I'm not really listening. Jesus is saying, don't do that. Focus on what he's saying. He's offering the people who he's talking to right there, he's offering all of us, and them in particular, a way to go deeper with him. In order to go deeper with him, we need to be listening. A sign of receptivity is the attempt to understand what Jesus has communicated. If we're not attempting to understand the Bible, if we're not attempting to listen to it, if we're not attempting to just understand, it's a sign that we're not really receptive. So if there are people around us who are not putting much effort into engaging with their Bibles, then we could be questioning their receptivity of Jesus. When Jesus sees that someone is gaining understanding, he draws them closer with more communication. And we've seen this. Like, this is coming right off of the parable of the seeds and the different kind of soils. And so in following up to that, he's saying, basically, if you do listen, if you show me that you are fertile soil, then I will be drawing you in and deepening my communication with you. So that's more of what he's just said previously. Again, we see Jesus navigating the boundary that he's put in place. Although the crowd is not considered insiders, he gives everyone access to become an insider. That's the thing between insiders and outsiders. There is a dichotomy. It is us versus them. However, it's not a totally closed boundary. Like, it is, it's significant enough to create identity and to maintain identity as either belonging to the kingdom of God or not belonging to the kingdom of God. Yet it's permeable enough to allow a flow between, one way and another. Jesus invites people into a relationship with him. So he doesn't invest in people as deeply as insiders until people become insiders. I think there's a note here about kingdom agency. Kingdom agents reveal Jesus. They are the stand that the lamp is placed on. More than that, it's the present reality of God's kingdom. I think that this is really referencing here, that God's kingdom is here and right now, and you and I walk with agency. And as agents, we demonstrate and we communicate the present reality of God's kingdom by revealing who Jesus is, by being gospelers, sharing the gospel with people and connecting with people and letting them experience the kingdom of God through us as we sort of walk alongside them and just be regular people with them. I mean, it's not rocket science how to share the gospel. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not rocket science. You just do life with people and just make sure that you're doing life with Jesus at the same time. And eventually a triangle kind of is set up where you're revealing Jesus and you're also friends with them as well, and you're trying to introduce Jesus into that friend thing that's going on, and seeing if there's any influence there, any receptivity there that will allow them to receive Jesus. Okay, what do I need to do? Remember that I'm coming at this from a planter's perspective. What do I want to do with Fort Community? What do I have to do as a kingdom agent? First, I need to establish a boundary to separate outsiders from insiders in order to protect the crowd from overwhelming me and draining me until I burn out again. I really need to be careful of this. I do not want to burn out again. Burning out is absolutely horrible. There is no more life in you. When you're burnt out, you are burnt out, and you can barely get back on your feet. I could barely get on my feet. Experiencing burnout is, oh my goodness, probably the worst thing I've experienced in my whole life. And it's been so hard to get back up and to find the energy and capacity to continue. Oh my goodness. So looking at this text, I need to be mindful of who I am, where I've been, and where I want to go. I need to be careful that my boundaries are in place so that those who are not necessarily receptive and those who won't follow, those who aren't fertile soil, I won't be investing in those people. Certainly I'll be investing, but not over-investing, and I won't let them drain me again. Second, I need to establish a passageway to get from outside to inside. Just like, the passageway to go from somebody who is not in the kingdom of God to somebody who is in the kingdom of God is by faith and following Jesus. So I need to help people recognize that they need to express faith in Jesus, and in order to start following him. And then as they're following him, we also grow into agency at the same time. So I need a system in place that helps people to make that transition into followership, as they step up into agency. The passage shows two signs of receptivity. First, working to understand the revealed truth, whether that's the Bible itself, or whether that's just the truth of the testimony that's been shared, the truth of the little bit of knowledge that's been passed on just in conversation. If somebody wants to dig a little deeper in the truth that's been revealed, that's a sign of receptivity. Also, the ability to learn more about Jesus is a sign of receptivity. Some people just have no ability to learn more about Jesus because they don't really want to. Yeah, but if somebody actually is digging in and they're demonstrating that, they are growing in their knowledge of Jesus, those are two solid signs. Not only are they digging into the Bible, but they're also coming back to you, showing that they're getting a clue. Two huge signs that this person is coming into followership. Followership includes the increase of knowledge and understanding about Jesus, which begins with the gospel and moves into being a follower. So as a kingdom agent, I want people to become insiders, but I need to make sure I don't bring them in too quickly, like I have done practically my whole life. I need to have a way of getting engaged without getting on the inside into kingdom leadership until receptivity has been discerned. So I need to be looking for people who are engaging with whatever truth that has been revealed to them, whatever truth they know. And I need to be looking to make sure that not only are they trying to wrestle with a little bit, but they're getting a clue. They're starting to understand. They're being changed by it. Here's a summary of the passage here. This passage most reveals the passageway through the boundary that Jesus sets up between himself and the crowd in order to protect himself from being overwhelmed and getting burnt out. The passage into being an insider is receptivity, which is demonstrated by understanding the gospel and gaining deeper understanding about being a follower. I need to create a boundary to keep myself from being overwhelmed and getting burnt out. And I need to communicate the passage into deeper fellowship, which is receiving Jesus as demonstrated by someone gaining a deeper understanding of Jesus and getting a clue about how to live as a follower. I need to find a deeper definition of follower personally. That's what I need to work on, so that I know what's between receptivity and agency, or what goes hand in hand with agency after receiving the gospel. What does it mean to be a follower? What does a follower look like? When somebody has placed their faith in Jesus, they're now following Jesus. What does that look like? I need to figure that out. I've got a SharePoint here. I'm going to share the SharePoint because it's going to help me prep for the message this Sunday, which I'm not really sure what it's going to be at this point. I think, what I'm feeling right now about the message for Sunday probably is something like, it might be a boundaries thing, but I've been talking so much about boundaries, about how to keep people out. I haven't been talking about boundaries, about letting people in. And I think that this text might be about letting people in. So here's my SharePoint. Communicate the passageway into deeper fellowship. Totally. Jesus maintained safe boundaries. And that's so that the crowd wouldn't overwhelm him and burn him out. He kept the crowd farther away, relationally and emotionally, than his followers. The boundary was a good demonstration of the need of Jesus. Jesus communicated, however, the passageway between being an outsider and an insider. The way to deeper fellowship with Jesus was, in this passage, the work someone put into gaining a deeper understanding of the gospel and following. Understanding was a sign of receptivity too. Kingdom agency includes 4 things here. First, go to the crowds, communicate the gospel. Second, establish a boundary between insiders and outsiders. Don't let people in too quickly. Third, communicate the passageway between being on the inside and the outside, which is receiving Jesus. Fourth, discern receptivity. Those who are growing in their understanding of the gospel and being a Jesus follower are demonstrating signs of receptivity. Here's a takeaway. Share Jesus and discern receptivity. That's it from me for now. I don't feel like I really did a whole lot here other than just talk this passage out. And for this Sunday, I think that where I'm going with is talking about not boundaries to keep people out, but boundaries to let people in. We've done enough about talking about weak boundaries. We've done enough talking about toxic friends and toxic families, all those people that we need to let out. But when is it safe to open up our boundaries and let people in? And it seems to me that the 2 safe points when it's safe enough to let people in are when people begin to engage the truth that's revealed about you. So when people begin, like as you reveal who you are, as people begin to understand you more and take an interest in who you are, then that's a good indication that they want to be a friend and they're safe to let in to your boundary and go a little bit deeper with them. Not only that, but when they start getting a clue about you. So not only are they attentive to the differences that are part of you, but also when they start to really understand you, sort of when they say your mind back to you, when sort of like they're reading your mail, that's another indication that it's a good chance that you can take a chance with this person to let your guard down a little bit. If you and I walk through life with solid boundaries, and our boundaries are too solid, we're never going to have any friends. We're going to be protecting ourselves, guarding ourselves, and we're going to die, honestly. We need to not only firm up our weak boundaries, we need to not only have a plan to how to deal with toxic friends and toxic family members, but we also need a plan to open up those boundaries and seek reasons to open up the boundaries. Toxic friends, toxic family, and weak boundaries, those are reasons why we need to seek to strengthen our boundaries. But we also need to seek reasons to open our boundaries. We need to be very attentive. Jesus says, he who has ears, let him hear. If you can hear, then use those ears to try to understand. So for the people around us who are attempting to get, for the people around us who are attentive to who we are and what we're revealing about ourselves, and they're paying attention to us, and then not only they come back to us and they're getting a clue about us, they're growing in their understanding of us, as though they're studying us like we're a college course or something. Then and I'm not meaning to get weird about this. I'm not talking about a creeper or a stalker, but just normally, right? And within normality, right? Then that's probably an indication that don't keep your boundary too tight. open up that boundary and let that person in, and just test the waters a little bit to see if you two are not oil and water, but to see if you two actually do mix really well.